Back-to-back peak, man, the best chapters this year. This is absolutely insane. The last chapter, we've got a lot of people in the community accusing Void of being a fraud. I think now they should understand that Void is really him. He was just caught off guard and basically Blast wanted to defeat him in his nerfed state. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's just get over to this chapter panel by panel. The cover of this channel has Tatsumaki in a pose as usual with the quote saying changing in the direction of the wind. First panel picked up from the last time with Blast saving both Flash and Sonic from the dimensional slash. Sonic seems to be amazed by this feat and can't help himself but to think it's an actual illusion. But Flash assures him that this is reality and tells him that the village's purpose was to serve as a testing ground to create monsters as strong as this. Blast also seems to be surprised and feels like there has to be more than Void being just fully recovered since he was performing some stuff that he seemed like he has never seen. Void appears again and kicks the three of them away, only to reveal his new godly looking transformation. Listen guys, this design is absolutely fire and better than all of the previous ones. Looks like he reverted back to his human looks with maintaining his monstrous power, radiating a white glow that is maybe supposed to be his light power aura. However, is the one we've seen before another form that is supposed to be stronger than this, or this and the previous one are supposed to be the same? Since if it's the former and Void still has another form, oh boy, somebody needs to call Saitama to deal with this character, otherwise based on what's going to happen, these characters are going to be no more. Void after states that while being granted powers from God, Garou harbored a dark nature that ultimately defied him. Really makes me question what he means by dark nature. Is it related to the limiter, since we know that Saitama was called the fist that turned against God and Garou seemed like he was following Saitama's path of doing the same thing. So maybe those who breaks their limiter that is originally set by God are failures that can eventually defy him. Void also says after that since he absorbed the dark nature that Garou possessed, Blast's powers of darkness that rebels against God can no longer affect him, which means whatever Garou has is a clear counter to Blast and God's powers. He also tells Blast that because of the will of God that he has, he forgot his anger towards him. Void in this panel looks just like Garou, and I think it was intentional since Void absorbed his powers. But more importantly, I want you guys to take a look at this panel right here. We know that the silhouette that is behind Garou is obviously Saitama because he was fighting him. But is it just me, or doesn't he look awfully similar to God's form? It could be a coincidence, but knowing how Murata and One writes the story and throws clues and foreshadowing from time to time, I reckon this is intentional. Not really sure what we should take away from this now. Alright, Blast goes badass and serious mode, throws his glasses to Flashy Flash and teleports towards Void with a kick that the latter blocked. Void tried to counterattack with his special move, but Blast just teleported away and back-to-back punch him and kick him through the portal. Blast seems to be annoyed and says to Void that just because he doesn't use the gravity knuckle and the dimensional cannon, it doesn't mean he can't win. He after keeps barraging him with attacks through the portals, not allowing him to escape into another dimension since he wouldn't be able to track him. And just when he wanted to punch Void in his blind spot, Void completely caught Blast off guard and twisted his body 180 degree and caught off Blast's arm that was coming out from the portal. What's going on? I was actually staring at this panel for about 3 minutes straight, not believing what happened. I guess at the end of the day, Void isn't really an opponent that would be defeated with no consequences at all. But is it just me, or this seems to be too soon for a character like Blast? That's why even though this certainly happened, I'm still having a hard time believing that Blast would be missing a hand from now on, if he survived obviously. It's just insane. Void tells Blast that now he cannot use portals since he's required to use 2 arms and proceeds to make fun of him and tells him that he is disappointed he thought he can aim for his weak spot with the magical trick. And since he can't dodge the dimensional slash anymore, Void would let him watch as he would shred the cities around the world with its citizen. But Blast calls him on his BS and told him that he had the chance to decapitate him but chose not to because whatever he absorbed from Garou is slowly taking away away and wearing off God's brainwashing. I absolutely love how despite Garou not being present here, he is still being a very important factor. This chapter ends with Void slashing Blast 5 times, I guess since he didn't like what he was hearing. Absolutely a masterpiece of a chapter for sure, 9 out of 10. I feel like it's already confirmed that Void is stronger than Blast since he had the opportunity to kill him but chose not to. Unless Blast has an ace up his sleeve that he still didn't reveal. Also, Void proved us all wrong. Not only didn't he run away like we all assumed, but stayed and defeated his long-lived enemy. From now on, people should put some respect on his name. But nonetheless, comment on your thoughts and tell me what part surprised you the most. Until next time, please take good care.